The Indiana Fever may have just committed the worst mistake in WNBA history. They could have to pay millions of dollars for it. What's happening behind the scenes is much more combustible, but no one is talking about it. Consider this. At last, a rookie from a different generation joins your club. She sells out arenas that have been vacant for years, breaks ratings records overnight, and your team becomes significant once more. So what is the solution? Nobody appeared to be asking why you continued to bend her. You will be blown away by this. Let's begin with the money. Then, Caitlin Clark is anticipated to make $11 million this year, but her $78,000 WNBA pay makes up less than 1% of the total. A single Instagram post brings in more money for her than a month of illness. Nike spent $28 million over the course of 8 years to sign her. Allen, Gatorade, State Farm treats her like a queen. Wilson even gave her a unique basketball word. Every corporation you can think of has open wallets. Even though the Fever couldn't keep her healthy for more than 3 games in a row. Isn't that strange in terms of health? Caitlin never missed a game during her time in college. For 4 years in a row, she dominated every night at Iowa while playing through discomfort. However, sudden, unexplained groin problems have regularly kept her out of the professional ranks, whether it's the result of bad luck or something more important going on behind the scenes. The impact is clear. She shot just 4 for 12 during a 6-game stretch following her comeback, shooting less than 30% overall. And just 14% from 3. However, nobody is discussing this part. She still averages over 9 assists every game. Despite being in a slump and having one arm tied behind her back, she is contributing to this team's success and earning more bench time. Off the court, things became even worse. As if there wasn't enough drama on the court. A 55-year-old stalker who harassed Caitlin, sent hundreds of disturbing texts, and even traveled to Indianapolis while thinking they were dating, was recently sentenced to prison. Things had grown so bad that she had to change her public image to feel safer. But here's the crazy part, even he appears to value her more than the Fever's treatment did. When Caitlin is performing, the price of tickets goes up significantly. $1,200 in the secondary market, they decrease by 40% overnight while she is away. It's a financial freefall, not a dip. Tickets for even the All-Star game, which took place in her home stadium, dropped from $121 to $72 after she announced she couldn't play. The front office in Indiana is behaving as if they are unaware that actual money is being taken out of the facility, and just when you think it can't get any worse, it does. Stephanie White, the coach dispatched to fix everything, walks in, but it seems like she's more concerned in making Caitlin seem bad than in letting her play her game. Last week's viral moment stated it all. Caitlin was sitting in the coach's chair when White told her to leave in front of everyone during a timeout. The message was very obvious: acknowledge your role, newbie. Don't become too comfortable. We, not you, are in charge of this team. White is still preaching about long-term health and the big picture. We're afraid because you've gotten so big. Why else would you monitor a 23-year-old who is in excellent physical shape when she starts to get hot? Why would you take her out of the game? Why force her to change the exact kind of play that fills arenas and sells jerseys? It feels like a constant reminder. Even if you are the star, others have the power. But this is the worst part. While Indiana is involved in minor power battles, Caitlin is quietly constructing something much bigger. An empire that doesn't even need them. In addition to being popular, she represents women's basketball, with over 1.2 million votes. She received more All-Star captain votes than any other player in the league. Her recommendations are worth more than entire teams' wages. If she wanted to, she could buy and sell half of the WNBA tomorrow, but the Fever appears as if letting her sit on the bench would be beneficial. I have insider information, so this is where things go insane. Several teams are already creating cap space for Caitlin when she becomes a free agent in 2027. In addition to any marketing arrangement, the New York Liberty are willing to provide her a maximum contract. Aces from Las Vegas can be found throughout Manhattan. They would probably throw an extravagant gala and rename a casino in her honor. 2 7-figure salaries are being discussed by international clubs in Europe. Crazy Chinese offers that may include ownership of a club. In addition, Ice Cube made an attempt to court her with a $5 million Big Three offer. She has more options than a Vegas buffet. The Fever is also over here, acting as though she ought to be grateful for remaining food, the league's enduring joke. Due to a single player, Indiana moved from using low-cost planes that charged for water to overnight private jet travel. Furthermore, rather than standing up for her, they are involved in power battles that make reality TV seem mild. It's comparable to whining about taxes after winning the lottery. Are you wondering how terrible things have become? Players who go 2 for 14 are praised for keeping their confidence, while Caitlin is criticized for taking one contested 3. Veterans who are unable to access the ocean from the beach are always given the go-ahead, but the team's best shooter in history is told to sit down and be patient, because the double standard is so obvious. Referees are shaking their heads, and every fan should be enraged by this fact. In contrast, WNBA players only get 9% of league profits. NBA players get half. When Caitlyn shows up, what happens? Boost store revenues by 500% and it increases attendance by 40%. They are making every attempt to get her to leave. The most amusing thing is that Fever management actually thinks they have control over this circumstance. They think Caitlyn is more in need of them than they are. If they think she needs them more than they need her, they are totally wrong. The Caitlyn Clark has a net worth of almost $5 million at the age of just 23. She will have endorsements that will protect her future long after she hangs up her jersey. She also has a loyal fanbase that would accompany her to Antarctica. If she founded the Penguin Basketball League, this number should make every Indianapolis boss shudder. When asked if they would still support the Fever if Caitlyn departed, 86% of fans gave a negative response. It is more than just loyalty, that is an obsession, that isn't a fanbase, that army is moving. These people didn't buy Fever shirts because of the name on the front, they bought these because of the name on the back. And if you think I'm exaggerating the strain she faces, think about what happened in Connecticut during the postseason. They claimed that Jonah Carrington unintentionally hit Caitlyn in the eye. When reporters questioned Carrington about it, he became defensive, and the Suns management tried to get the media to take it down. Every night, Caitlyn feels that level of jealousy. The fact that she won't even have the backing of her own team is the worst part. The numbers are accurate. When Caitlyn is playing, 1 million people watch the games. Without her, they struggle to achieve 200,000. She practically controlled ESPN's WNBA coverage. Additionally, interest in her on social media drops by 70% when she is not playing. In addition to being a player, she works as the league's marketing department. Without her, the conversation quickly fades. The temperature is getting scary at this point. There are rumors among Caitlyn's family and close friends that she is already thinking about moving out of Indianapolis. The management's lack of support, the regular injuries, and the odd coaching decisions are all becoming worse. In college, she transformed from the most fragile superstar in the league to an iron woman who never missed a game. Additionally, many are starting to wonder what is truly going on in this circumstance. The most ridiculous thing is that this problem might be resolved tomorrow due to the Fever. Anyone who is unaware of their possessions ought to be sacked. To let Caitlyn be herself, coaches ought to be brought in, rally the whole team behind her, hand her the franchise's keys, and watch the money stream in rather than forcing her to use an outdated, inefficient system. They won't, though, since in Indianapolis, ego takes precedence over the economics. The stats tell the story. Cities that draw talent from all generations either become cautionary tales or establish dynasties. Right now, the second route is where the Fever are racing. They are about to become the team that lost Caitlyn Clark, the team that mistreated the biggest star in women's basketball history. I hear whispers. Remember that you first heard it here as well. The ideas are already being investigated by Caitlyn's staff. They are exploring uncharted territory, building relationships in many markets, and laying the groundwork so that, when the time comes, she will have a place to settle that genuinely values her, not tomorrow or next season. Its irony is almost poetic. The Indiana Fever played in front of empty audiences for years, begging for importance because they were so desperate for attention. Caitlyn Clark then abruptly falls over their lap. A gift from the basketball gods. A once-in-a-generation celebrity with the ability to change everything. In 2 years, Caitlyn Clark won't be wearing a Fever shirt, I swear. In New York, Vegas, or potentially even overseas, she will be performing for people who sincerely want her to succeed, and making 3 times as much money as Indiana could ever hope to. The Fever will instantly revert to being unimportant, to half-empty arenas, and to a footnote in basketball history. Next is the worst part. The entire disaster could have been prevented. All they had to do was not mess it up, allow Caitlyn to be who she is. Make the check payments, make her the franchise's main attraction. Instead, they have produced a masterclass on how to ruin a wonderful opportunity. This kind of collapse will be studied for decades by business schools. The Fever will soon see the results of treating a $100 million athlete like she's on minimal wage. The Indiana Fever is not necessary for Caitlyn Clark. They will thus finally realize what they had and what they lost. When the circus leaves town and takes all of the ticket customers with it, she didn't, but for a short, wonderful moment, they needed her, and instead of accepting it, they pushed her out the door. Do you think this is the biggest mistake in WNBA history? Click like. Are you curious about Caitlyn's next destination? Enroll. Narrative is just getting started. And make a comment. Where should Caitlyn go when she eventually moves away from